Music with Ryan Adams. In just a moment, we are off to the home of the star of Life on Mars, Doctor Who, 24-hour party people, sometime Magic Alex guitarist, John Simm.
This is Vinyl Revival with Pete Paphides.
I'm in a lovely North London loft room. Right in front of me is an acoustic guitar. I can see, I think, what might be a banjo just behind me, or a ukulele maybe. Loads of Beatles memorabilia, just so much Beatles memorabilia and some Elvis memorabilia. So you'd think I was with a musician. Well, I kind of am, but that's not what he's best known for. I'm with the actor John Simm, who is a huge music fan. Hello, John, how are you?
Hello, Pete. Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Good. We're surrounded by various boxes of records, which are kind of sort of act as a kind of informal diary of your sort of upbringing, I guess.
Yeah, they do. I dragged this particular box out today. I haven't had a record player for terribly. I haven't had a record player for quite a while, and I've just ordered a portable one inspired by you. I might add. So I ordered a portable record player and I'm waiting for it to arrive. So I got out all my records and I realised that even though I stopped collecting records in the mid-90s, I still got quite a few of them. I'm quite excited about this record player turning up. Yeah.
Well, look, pending its arrival, I brought my sort of little Sanyo 1970 suitcase record player along, and we're going to listen to a few things. So I guess we just pull some stuff out.
Yeah.
And it's some wonderful stuff here. I don't know where to begin first. Shall we just sift through the pile? Let's just pick something out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know. This is the first Beatles record I ever had. I think. I don't know where I got it. I think.
Okay. So this is what was it? This is a Beatles record you don't see often. It's a compilation of early stuff, songs and pictures of the fabulous Beatles. So it's an American album.
Yeah.
We can infer that. Yeah. And what song, is there a song in particular that sort of jumps out at you from that?
Well, the one that I've chosen to play isn't on here. It's not on this one. The one that I chose is on Beatles, with the Beatles, I think.
With the Beatles. Hang on, I'm just rifling through. I think we might have with the Beatles. Oh, there you go.
There she is.
There you go. Look at that. What a beauty.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And it's Please Mr. Postman. It's on there, isn't it? Yeah.
So I have to say, I wouldn't necessarily have expected you to go for Please Mr. Postman.
No, I know. Do you know what? I'm picking a song by the greatest songwriters of all time, and they didn't even write it. The reason I'm playing this one is because, I am obsessed with the Beatles. You might have noticed I love the Beatles, and I could pick anything. I could have picked Ticket to Ride or 8 Days a Week or, something from the White Album or whatever. But Please Mr. Postman, I think, is a really massively ignored vocal by John Lennon. I think it's an incredible vocal that he does on it.
It is. His early vocals are bloody wonderful.
He just kicks the living daylight out of that song. I mean, and it's... I play it quite a lot recently. I don't know, they go in swings and roundabouts, don't they, the Beatles? You kind of you get obsessed with one certain song or an album and play that all the time. And at the moment, I'm still on Please Mr. Postman. Just because he, like Twist and Shout, he just belts that lyric out, and it's a great vocal performance.
Hey, oh yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Hey, hey, Mr. Postman.
That's very special indeed. It's a lovely copy as well. You sort of get something on those sort of vinyl recordings that it needs to sound a bit dirty, doesn't it?
Yeah. And you know what? I've missed vinyl, so I'm glad I'm getting a record player to be able to listen to all this old stuff again.
Well, is that mainly what you listened to sort of growing up? I guess your parents would have been huge Beatles fans.
Yeah, they were Beatles fans. They weren't huge Beatles fans. I mean, they were into Elvis and this is my dad. My mum was into like the 3 Degrees and Barry Manilow, which I took it on board, but I didn't totally ignore it, but mainly I did.
Mostly
ignored it. And my dad was into Elvis and Eddie Cochran and Jerry Lee Lewis and Chuck Berry and all that. So the Beatles were part of it all, and I think I got that from them. I might have just taken it, but I latched onto them and sort of got really obsessed with them. But I was really obsessed with Elvis as a kid, as a very young kid, from about 9, I think.
So what was it about Elvis particularly?
I don't know. I had a weird little crush on him, I think. Yeah. I was covered in pictures of him everywhere. I got the Elvis monthly. It was a bit weird, and everybody else was into Adam and the Ants and the Jam. And I was into Elvis. That
must have been lovely for your dad, I would imagine.
I guess so. Yeah.
Do you remember the day he died?
I do very, very vividly. Yeah, I remember it. I think it was the first time I ever saw my dad cry. So I was
Wow.
like 7.
So what, you just walked in and just saw him in tears?
Yeah, I remember him and actually, no, Elvis. I remember John Lennon dying because I remember coming down for a glass of milk in 1980 and they were both crying, I think, watching telly, watching the news at 10. But the Elvis one, I remember coming out of school and seeing a thing outside the newsagents, you know, the hoarding they put up, and it just said the king is dead. And I knew exactly who it was. At 7. I
Wow.
thought, that's Elvis.
God.
And ran home, and my dad already knew, and it was just a surreal day. I remember running home, remember going through the door. It was like someone in the family had died, you know.
Was that what got you into him in earnest, do you think?
I don't think so. I think I knew already I was into it, but I was 7, so maybe that was it. Yeah, maybe that was the catalyst. Yeah, I mean, that happens a lot, doesn't it? You know, someone dies and then...
So I think I saw an Elvis record here.
Oh, yes. I got stung with One Night on the B-side. Yeah, this was my first Elvis record. 40 Greatest Hits. Double album, obviously.
This is a great... You couldn't have a better first Elvis record.
It's
40
great.
greatest hits.
40 Greatest Hits.
And it's-
Gatefold sleeve.
And it's a 70s, it's like your 70s RCA issue. So it kind of looks a bit cheesy in a way, but
Yeah.
this is what obviously all records look like in the 70s. And it's just got everything you need, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful. And why I Got Stung in particular?
Well, I don't know. I was looking through them, tracks last night. I mean, none of these, you know, that obviously... Please Mr. Postman isn't my favourite Beatles record, and I Got Stung isn't my favourite Elvis record, but it was the one that I hadn't listened to a long time, and when I saw the title of it, I thought, oh, I used to love that.
Holy smoke, land sakes alive, I never thought this could happen to me.
Okay, well, like, should we have just like a little rummage and see what else you want to pull out?
Yeah. I'm discovering stuff myself, and some of them are quite shameful.
Listen, well, we got a cardboard box over there. It looks like the kind of cardboard box that has not been opened for a while.
No, this is what I'm talking about. This was
just pull something out.
a lot
Let's
of
have a
these is freaking me out. It's Julian Cope.
Julian Cope. Flawed Genius, the best of Julian Cope. Primal Scream, Sonic Flower Group. That
Yeah.
tells me, John, that you would have been a bit of quite a hardcore sort of indie kid in the late 80s.
I was.
Not many people bought that record.
Really?
No, because that was Primal Scream. It's before Screamadelica.
Yeah,
so
it was.
this
It was one of the first ones. Wasn't it? I had the first album, which I used to love as well, the one with Ivy on it. And
Oh yeah, the first Creation album.
Yeah.
In your late teens,
Yeah.
I guess you would have been when you bought that Primal Scream album. What would you be? Did you know you wanted to sort of go into acting at that point?
oh yeah, I mean, I think when I bought this, I was I would have been at college, probably in Blackpool. I was at college in Blackpool until I was 18, and then came to London. So yeah, definitely, I was at a drama course from 16 onwards.
And what was soundtracking though? What's the musical soundtrack to those times?
Well, that was a transition period really, because I was into when I went to college in Blackpool. I was at 16. Yeah, 16. I was into. Well, you know, I still had the Elvis and Beatles thing going on, but I was also into heavy rock. Heavy metal. It wasn't really heavy metal. I liked stuff like Led Zeppelin and AC/DC and Deep Purple, and so it was kind of, I was into that kind of vibe.
Did you have the hair to go with it?
I did. I had a really terrible haircut. I've got to say, it was awful. I had like because I kind of liked Elvis and Shakin' Stevens, so I had a bit of a quiff. But I also liked AC/DC, so I had long hair at the back, and I didn't know it was a mullet. I knew what I liked, and I mixed the styles.
That's unbelievable.
And I had a mullet, obviously, and not only was it a mullet, but it was streaked.
But blonde, like blonde hair?
White streaked.
That's very honest.
A woman who came round and did it from your house. Remember the women that came round?
There was always someone.
There was always a
in your
woman
area,
that would do it. Yeah.
And you would have to explain to her what you wanted done.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you'd emerge from the bathroom, because it's usually the bathroom where
it was the kitchen. It was the kitchen.
yeah, kitchen or the bathroom.
Sitting there with that stupid foil in your hair, and I think I was listening to Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden, and thinking about is there a new spot cream out that's going to help me? It was those days, those strange transitional days when I don't know what was going on.
If they ever make a film of your life and it's a comedy, then that scene has to be.
Yeah.
If it's not a comedy,
Yeah.
then we best not leave that scene.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Your voice is breaking, and your mum is turning Iron Maiden off, and you go, "Mum, and you're getting your hair streaked. You know the times. You know, kind of secretly like Take On Me by a-ha, but I wouldn't tell anybody because I was supposed to be into Iron Maiden. You know,
you're in a club out with your dad. Was there a name?
Oh yeah, we were called Us 2.
Nice.
US 2. Yeah,
but there was no question that your repertoire couldn't really encompass AC/DC.
Not really. I think I tried to get Highway to Hell in there, but he wasn't having it. He wanted to learn Walk of Life by Dire Straits and stuff.
I love the way any musician you talk to that's from the north of England, there's a fair chance they'll have been in a club act. And one thing I love about Take That is that they're probably the last kind of boy band who will ever make it big, who have their roots slightly in a club act, because Gary Barlow used to do it. He was I don't know if you know this, but with his girlfriend when he was a teenager, he was in a duo called Charisma, spelled with a K.
No way, was he?
Charisma with a K.
My God, I recognise that name because when you do the clubs, you there's always photographs around the mirror of club acts, and there's some very funny ones. Very funny one. Charisma with a K. That really sort of. I'm sure. Maybe I played with them. I don't know.
Sometimes I see Gary Barlow and I think, you can take the man out of Charisma. There's still a bit of Gary Barlow that will be forever Charisma with a K.
Yeah.
But should we drag things up slightly closer to the present day? Is there anything? I don't know what. Go on. What have we got here? What about The Good, the Bad, and the Queen?
Yeah.
This is a great album.
It's a great album. It's again, one of those records that you just fall in love with. It's unexplained. You don't know why, and you'd head over heels with it. I could not stop playing this for some reason. I think Damon Albarn is an absolute genius. I mean, I love Blur and everything he does. I've always thought he was a brilliant musician, but in recent years he's totally surpassed it. I just think he's incredible.
Well, that is a hard thing to do. I mean, you sort of. You've maintained in your own sort of career. You've maintained a series of very good choices. Everything you do seems to be as well loved as the previous one, but that's a hard thing to do in any walk of life, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. And I think it's just a radar, quality control radar that I can't. If I think it's rubbish, then I would find it very, very difficult to do it, and I feel like a prostitute having to do it.
Yeah.
So I tend not to, and try not to do stuff that I think is not right. And I appreciate that quality control, and I think there are a few musicians in the British Isles at the moment that have got it, and I think Gruff Rhys is one. I think David Albarn is one. I think everything he does is just.
The Good, the Bad, and the Queen there's this wonderful. I mean, it's just a record you want to own just to look at it, and on a double album, it's just doubly beautiful. It's got this kind of sort of Hogarthian sort of drawing of the great, what appears to be the Great Fire of London, and it immediately kind of sets. I was just trying to think, what it's like a genre that hasn't previously existed. It's like it's like a Dickensian jazz album. Or something.
It's a strange record, isn't it? You can't really put you can't put it in any bracket. It's a very strange record, but I think that's why I love it. I love it so much. It was absolutely of its time. And when you play something to death and you play it and play it and play it and play it, and then stop for ages and ages and ages and ages, and they don't listen to it, and I thought, oh God, I used to love this, and then played it again and then remembered why.
Wow.
It's very strange how it happens, isn't it? And I love it when it does.
Let's just have a quick burst of this record.
Yeah, Still Life is the one.
Was it Greenfields?
Oh, Greenfields, that's right.